Let's all hands
Here on the
subway.
We've been down here for way too long. And then you have the fucking therapist and then the lady going, wide open spaces.
Wide open.
Wide.
Yeah, and then he's just like, Helen, your mantra doesn't work, and then slaps her.
3, 2, 1.
Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Straight out of the Scarlet Halls and currently occupying the halls of Dazar'alor, I'm Slide Whistle.
I'm immunization.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is episode 7 of Do Not Relent. It is 7, right?
Yep, we made it to episode
is.
7.
Hell yeah. Amin, what'd you do in the world of Warcraft?
Well, this week I was really busy, with the new raid being added. But even before the raid was added, we were pretty busy. We did our triple attempt to get the banana suit, which I don't know, Aaron. I think you're the only one that's really gotten much of anything from it. I know we've each maybe gotten a piece each.
Yeah, in a triple attempt in which we always had a mage, a paladin, and someone else who was fun. So that is 9 people going through. Only one of them got a piece of the banana suit. And luckily it was me, though it was just the belt, but still, I don't like these odds. We're coming out losers on this more than we're coming out winners on this.
I also ran it on my Horde character and my Horde pally immediately afterwards, and I got still 0 pieces. So that's that's so many runs with nothing, with no paladin tier loot dropping from Molten Core. It's crazy.
I think somehow we've managed to get the most leather, and I don't think any of us ran with the leather class.
No, none of the third people were, or no, I ran it on my monk, and in that time we got 0 leather. I think the game just likes to give you whatever is not there.
So, yeah, we did that, but who knows how much longer we'll have to do this to get 3 sets of that suit. But other than that, I did Mythic Plus for the first time in a long time. I did a random battleground for the first time in a while. I worked on my professions. I got my first few Paragon bags, which is exciting.
Congratulations.
Did you get
didn't
get anything
good?
cool though. I just got the AP and war resources, which is a really good deal though. Like you get a lot for it, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried running the eye again because I want Ashes of Valar, but still no luck there either. So yeah, I kept busy this week. How about you, Aaron?
Most of my week was just doing my chores, doing my busy work, honestly getting ready for Battle for Dazar'alor. I finally kicked it into gear. I was getting my flasks, which, thank you, herbalism changes, where you can finally combine more useless flowers into anchorweed. I have 175 anchorweed now, and I did not even know 175 anchorweed existed in the game. I used to have to shake people down and stab them in back alleys for 2. So that definitely has upped my flask game. So I'm excited to get a lot more flasks, especially now that I'm a #epic raider. I do have to today, before recording, I joined up with a group of brave Alliance sons and daughters, and we went to the shores of Dazar'alor, so the place where you actually are in the raid, but the physical location. And after 2 to 3 weeks of the Horde showing up in Borealis deciding to cause problems, we told them that we were going to be the problem, except that the difference this week was, as far as I could tell, being there for an hour and a half, they never came back to fight us.
Yeah, that happened to me too. That's how I got my 25 kills for our Against All Odds or whatever it's called, that quest, which I think is ironic now because I don't know where all the Horde went this last week. They didn't fight back for us either, and we were there for an hour as well, and we had one raid group worth of us, and there was no fight, and it was their home city.
I'm telling you, they're protesting. I think they're actually turning off war mode so they can try to get us a lower percentage on that against overwhelming odds quest. That's my crackpot theory.
Well, too bad. We're always going to be the more pitiful group. We're going to keep that 30% till we die, baby. But I just want to say congratulations to all of my Alliance brethren who were part of the attack. And I'm going to give big ups to my crew, Miagain, Avocatus, Vurin, and Korn of Shadow Song. You kids are cool. Thanks for pulling me up when I fell in the water.
Did you write their names down? Like what did you guys do that your bond was so strong that you had to give them a shout out in the pod?
We were just talking to each other in a group, and they were like in like my personal, like there was a group of like 25, but we were all split into smaller groups, and so that we could get the quest done. And that they just happened to be the other 4 of my 5, and we were there for forever. So we just talked, and they were really cool kids. And Vurin pulled me up out of the water with like the priest pole thing because I couldn't find the dock, and I wanted to keep killing Horde.
#community.
So, Slide, what did you do this week?
I did the most important thing a man or woman could do. I cleaned out my bank. I had so much old shit in there. It was ridiculous. I cleaned out my Regent bank. I cleaned out my bank. I cleaned out my pockets. I had like end of like Draenor crafting mats still in my bags. I had clothes that I was
doofa.
I had clothes that I was saving for that big transmog overhaul when you had to stockpile your clothes to have that appearance. I still had like old clothes in my bags. It was nuts. So that's been all empty. It took me like 2 hours, like 2 whole hours. It was stupid.
Yeah, I don't even like thinking about my Regent Bank because it's still such a mess. So, like, mad props to you for delving into that.
Well, what makes it worse is that I didn't realize that if you like, I was like, oh, I have some old bars I'll hang on to, like some old like smelting bars. I'll put them in my bank. But when you deposit Regents, it still pulls stuff out of your bank and puts it in your Regent bank. So I'm like, okay, well that's stupid.
The only thing I have in my bank is old legendaries and wine from the Best Bakers Bake Off 2019. It's coming, baby, one of these days.
We need to bring it back. And also explain what that means at a later time. I don't think we have time to explain that. I think
that's for another pod.
It's going to require at least 2 hours to explain, I think. Rated. I mean, you guys also rated. I got some sick BOEs from Raid. I already sold it for 150k. I got some sweet Titan Forged gear. 425, baby. The highest it can go. Because, I'm deserving of such gear.
Literally raid stopping. We were walking to the next boss, and everyone saw that you got that, and we all stopped walking, sat down, like 425, huh?
Like, you just got mythic rating base level gear from a drop here.
On normal.
I got higher than that
on day 1
because base mythic is 415.
Oh my God! So what is that, heroic? Like
no, it's just.
No, I meant like the second. Like, what would that be, like Titan Forge?
Oh yeah,
like,
there's.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, no, you're right. Titan Forge. I think Warforged is the other one, right? Warforged, Titan Forged. It was Titan Forged, Heroic Titan Forged. Maybe you're right. I'll look that up and then I'll edit it appropriately. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. Rated, got the stuff. Yeah, it was. This is a lot of world quests, catching up on rep. I was a busy bumblebee playing this game.
So obviously the hot topic going into this week is Raid number 2 in BFA, the battle for Dazar'alor.
Battle noise.
So
we love the word battle.
So
in this series.
The raid is obviously incredibly cool, but I'm sure everyone knew to properly experience the story, you had to do your homework first. So let's talk about the war campaign real quick.
Okay, but yeah, I thought the war campaign was really, really good. Just segue right into the raid, at least from the Alliance perspective. I don't know what the Horde equivalent of what we did was, but I thought it was a really good intro, and it tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. Our poor Lightforged Draenei boy, R.I.P.
It's you know what the real heartbreaking thing was though, before you even made it to Zuldazar to go and fight, was I don't know if this was an issue for your guys, getting through the maze to go and talk to the leaders of the Alliance.
Yeah, I was like, wait, guys, why are you all in this maze? I mean, like, I know you're having a somewhat secretive conversation, but you're already in our capital city. Like, do you need more protection here? Because you're making it hard for me to meet up with you guys in there.
Well,
I,
then
I
also
almost had to look. I almost had to look up a guide just to get through the hedge
no.
maze. I didn't. I found it out by myself, but I was sitting there for like 5 minutes, like, okay, am I an idiot? Why can't I get through this damn hedge maze?
You had to watch a 25-minute video on how to get through the hedge maze.
You're not the
Hey,
only
what
one
up,
that
it's your
had
man,
trouble,
Buttman
though.
64.
I also had some trouble the first time. Luckily, I had gone through the maze before because there was a world quest that was in there or something like a week ago or so.
Mhm.
Yeah, there was something in there. I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I was in there recently as well. So I was familiar from my one-time go, and I was like, there's a hedge maze in this city? Like, how long has this been here? And apparently it's always been there. So I guess our city really is too big, and we just didn't know it. But yeah, I caught up on the war campaign, I think, last week. I kind of did it all back to back to back. Yeah, it was good. I liked it. The opulence quest was pretty funny, and then shipped off to Zuldazar, where I thought it was a little weird that we just kind of casually sacrificed Lightforged Draenei, who's been fighting the Burning Legion for literally forever, and he was just like, "Yes, I will die in your war that I don't really care that much about." I'm like, "Are you sure?
Yeah,
You want to give your life
that
for
I
that?
am the newest member of.
Like, you
You
don't
have
really
brought
know?"
me off of my spaceship literally last month to die now.
I mean, the way that he said that was, you know, he saw what the Legion did, and he kind of saw shades of that in in this Horde. So he didn't want anyone's world to be destroyed like his was on Argus by the Horde. So he would give up his life now to make sure that the Alliance wins and that doesn't happen, which is all kinds of fucked up for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I guess that was his thought.
And then also, where did they find so many willing citizens of the Alliance to just give their lives? Like, it was mostly Worgen female and, like, Dark Iron Dwarfs, I feel like, that made up the army that
And
was sent to go with him.
naked, not naked. I'm sorry. Only 15 to 20% clothed night elf men.
Hey, they're going back to their savage roots. They're gonna go out. They're gonna go out the way they were born, I guess, Butt-ass naked.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of them are casters and like druids where it's like they don't need armor. But I rolled up and I'm like, hold on. Jareth Storm Shadow has his balls hanging out. Like, are we really prepared to fight this war? Shouldn't he put some pants on?
I thought it was also weird because I'm like, we lost so many night elves, that just perished at Teldrassil. We're gonna send more to die. Like, we're gonna send more knowing that they are 100% going to die. Like,
Maybe
it
that's
seems
why they are so willing. They lost all their family already, so they don't have anyone to live for.
They said we're already done here. Spin it up. Let's just bring this to a close. Might as well get my twigs and berries out while I'm out here.
Yeah, because most of like 2/3 of that army was, Night Elves, Worgans, and Lightforged Draenei, all of which have had their homes destroyed, right? So
there were no gnomes, and they've had their home destroyed for the past 13 years. So probably longer than that.
It's technically back. They just don't want to go there.
It's
'cause
gone.
It's a pet dungeon now.
Yeah, because what? Who was missing? There were no gnomes. There were no Draenei.
No, few humans, honestly.
No, zero pandas, which I'm glad, because if I was a panda, I'd be like, fuck no, I'm not going on this quest to fucking die. Like, you guys don't even like me.
Pandas will hardly ever be used, unfortunately, due to their positioning in the game. Although they are one of the races you can get on the boat, so I'll give them that.
There were actually dark iron dwarves there for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think they just love dying.
I was gonna ask, were there any void elves? Because void elves
There
would be the
there
last
were,
new boys.
which, like, if you think about how many void elves there are supposed to be, that must have been like the entire void elf civilization right there
Yeah.
in that fight, because there were like 20 of them.
Why are we sending? I mean, it makes sense, but why are we sending a lot of our new allied races?
all of our new friends, because we don't want to sacrifice them for the good alliance. You guys are the new icky ones. If you come back, you'll pass the test.
Get up there and fight. Did anybody else follow Blade Master up that bridge when he was like, "I am now going to go fight Nathanos," or who did he was going to fight?
I think he said Rokon.
Yeah, it was Rokon, and I'm like, "I'm going to come with you," but then he just faded out, and I was like, "I don't get to see this fight. Like, I don't even get to see him die."
I won't lie to you. Live on the pod here, forgot he was there. Like he
Oh,
was.
so you left
he-
before he left?
I was doing my things. I'm like, Telemon is around here. Like, surely he'll get some sort of big moment. And then I listened to my heavy metal beats. I got on on my dinosaur. I got on my tidal charger. I was out there with Jaina when she was floating in midair doing sick Devil May Cry combos on people. I was like, hell
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, like I guess Jaina can just straight up fly now.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
and then in the end, it's like we will always honor Telemon's sacrifice. And I was eating chips, and I turned around like, oh fuck, he's dead.
Wait, so you probably just took the portal out and just left before you got to see the RP,
Yeah.
right? Because I was gonna
Yeah.
do it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna stay next to him, and then like a soldier was like, Telemon, they are coming, they approach, and he was like, I will meet Rokon, and I'll meet him with death, and he like they all charged in and yelled, and I was like, oh, I'm coming, but then yeah.
Yeah,
So-
they told me to go talk to Soldier 76, and I went and talked to Soldier 76.
Good old Halford Wormbane 76.
And it's funny because when you click on him, he's like, soldier.
It's like he didn't even try to get a different voice. He's like, yeah, this is my only acting voice. This is all I got for you guys. Enjoy.
What? But it's wild because it's Fred Tatasciore who has literally like a zillion voices, but Blizzard's like, nope, just gruff man.
Who else does he
That's
do?
I could pull up his no one in those are his only two in Blizzard, but he is like a very accomplished voice actor. He does a lot of creature voices. Basically any monster in television that is deep and has a deep voice is Fred Tatasciore. He's very accomplished, but yeah, Blizzard is just like, nope, that voice, that's you.
Yo, he was in Hot Wheels Battle Force 5 as Claw Rock. I don't know.
Yep.
What are the...
Silence.
He has really weird credits. He was in Penguins of Madagascar as Gus, Toy Christmas Tree, Street Corner Santa #1, and Cameraman. Alright. You know what? I respect his work.
Okay, I mean he's got some real stuff out there as well as being
you're right.
Hot
Oh,
Wheels
shit.
Fire Force Christmas.
No, you're right. He was in fucking Zatch Bell, so he's automatically my favorite guy now. Oh, dude.
Don't get me started talking about Zatch Bell Momoto battles.
Dude, he was Dalmos and Delmont.
So after Telemon runs off to his death, you take the portal back to Borealis, but then like what happens next in the war campaign? Is that just the end until
Yeah,
You get
it's
until the
just
raid, right?
Wormbane looks at you and he's like, you know who's a motherfucker? Rosticon. Go kill him. And then he gives you the go kill him quest.
I was reading about the Horde campaign, and they actually spent kind of a while to get that, what's that Tide Sage weapon called? The Tide...
the Scepter of Storms or something like
The
that?
Abyssal Scepter, I think is what it is, right? And so it took them forever to get it, and then we just stole it back in like one
Yeah, we
Horde campaign quest.
we sniped it in a goof quest. It was mostly about Finn making jokes.
It's like, this is ours now, bitches. But I kept reading about what the Horde was doing, and I could not believe that Sylvanas freed Priscilla Ashvane, and she just has her now, and they're working together, assumedly? Which, this makes so much sense now. Because whenever I'm in Borealis and I'm in, like, Hook Point, I'm like, why are these fucking Ashvane people punching me in my own city? Like, why are they attacking me? And now, I guess, if Sylvanas has Lady Ashvane, then she's probably like, "Go on, my champions, punch the heroes of the Alliance in their own city. Just deck them whenever they walk by."
Get all of your thugs and pickpockets to just punch them in the fucking face.
Granted, they kind of hated the Alliance before, anyways.
Okay, but like,
they didn't like us anyways.
But can't we just, now that they've been all sought out as traitors, like we rooted them out, can't we just get rid of them? Can't we purge them or put them in jail? Why do we allow them to beat us up in the streets still? Like, I don't get that part.
Yeah, I refuse to believe that the Ashvane cartel is like millions of people. Probably the Proudmoores could get rid of them in like a week.
Yeah, but they live in the icky part of town that no one wants to go to anyways.
We can't get our
Who
cloaks
even
dirty.
goes over there?
Me, when I'm going to Rough Waters, the pet shop, and I pet the puppies.
Oh, Slide. Do you remember when we fought those bots over there?
Oh yeah, was this last week?
Do you remember? Do you remember what we had to do to beat all 8 of them? Just the 2 of us.
We had to just kite them by hitting and running them. So we were,
and we had to use time warp.
Oh fuck!
Oh no, it was a trap.
My story about the bots.
And we can tell it after.
What if we never get to it? What do we forget?
Okay. So, welcome to Time Warp, everyone. It's we're a couple episodes in, but I'll still give you an explanation just in case, for whatever reason, this is your first one. Much like Time Warp, the mage ability in the game, I'm going to take the next 40 seconds or so to ask these boys a question and see who can answer the most questions. And whoever gets the least amount of answers has to take a shot of alcohol.
Oh no.
So
I don't know what that is.
So you boys love World of Warcraft.
I mean, I guess so.
And you love #epic raiding.
Okay.
Which means
Yes.
you must have seen the end boss of a couple raids.
Uh-huh.
And because you love World of Warcraft, that means you played Wrath the Lich King. Give me the final bosses of the 10 Wrath of the Lich King raids.
Wait, there were
Okay.
10?
There were 10.
Shit, okay.
Okay. And begin.
Arthas, Yogg-Saron. Start the easy ones, the ones that I run for mounts. Okay, so now we're in.
Is this
Anubarak is the one from Trial of the Crusader. I'm at 3. Alex is at 0. I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, you named the ones I knew.
There's there's a dragon. There's some dragons. Oh, no, that's a dungeon.
Is Ulduar in this? Who's the
I
last
already
boss
got
in
it.
Ulduar? Oh, you
I
named
got
it?
it with
Okay.
Yogg-Saron. I think there's a bunch of like small ones. I'm just gonna say Gruul. Gruul? Is his name Gruul? Yeah, Gruul. I'm gonna say Gruul. I don't know what he was.
Time.
Oh, that was a blowout. I do not know many of these raids, I guess.
So, in order, we had Malagos, the Blue Dragonflight, or leader of the Blue Dragonflight, Kel'Thuzad on the remaster of Naxxramas, Sartharion,
I forgot about that.
Yogg-Saron, Algalon, Anubarak, Onyxia on the remaster of the Onyxia raid, Toravan, Arthas the Lich King, and Halion, which came from a weekly quest that the Horde or Alliance would have to fight over, and the winner would get access to a raid, a one boss raid for like 5 hours, 1 day a week.
I was gonna say Malagos,
So-
but then I was like, nah, it can't be him. He's in the dungeon. But that's right. He's the fucking eye.
Yes, so Slide takes the win on this one, which means Immune, I'm so sorry. You have to consume 1 shot of alcohol.
I mean, I deserve it here.
It means drinking the smooth whiskey, the Irishman Founders Reserve small batch Irish whiskey. Buy at all local retailers today.
Here I go. Ugh, okay. I'm here. I'm ready.
I was originally about to do all of the bosses, and I'm like, that is a shit show. There are like 60 of them.
It'd be hard for you to score, too.
Yeah, we just be
Yeah.
shouting names because I do run those 3 dungeons or raids that I said, so I know all those fuckers. But yeah, so back to those the robots that were in Borealis. Me and Aaron were just walking around, minding our own business, and there was like a stack of like 10 horde just casting spells and like punching like with like monk attacks, and I'm like, what is going on here? Because I have spy downloaded, and if you don't have spy in your war mode, you're missing out because it will alert you when there's horde nearby. So it went beep 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 beep, and I was like, oh shit, Aaron, run, there's horde nearby. And it was just 10 people stacked up firing attacks, and I thought maybe they're farming for like a mount or something, but I didn't know any mount drops within Morales' walls. And so we killed them like after peeking out and hitting them a bunch, and then their bodies just laid there for like the next hour, right?
And the thing was, there was like realistically, there was like 8 to 9 of them. But whenever we would go and mess with them, because we would just hide behind a corner and like, because we're both mages, launch fireballs at them. And then only 1 or 2 would ever chase after us. And I'm like, I think you were like, this is weird. What's going on? So we killed the 1 or 2, and then the other 6 just sat there and accepted their death. So it's like, was this a weird bot thing?
It had to be like some like farming bots, because if it was a multi-boxer, he would have just murdered us with synchronized attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, it was really weird. But hey, it got us like 10 kills for our against overwhelming odds thing that week.
And then we got attacked in the nightclub, and that was fun too.
Oh yeah, there's a nightclub. There's a nightclub by them when I was dancing on the stage. And we found an NPC
This
dead
also
body.
in Borealis?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'll show you.
There's a nightclub that features a gang boss, and Slide and I were just goofing around in it, and all of a sudden an undead rogue came to like to gank us.
Because I had a bounty on my head, so he must have been following me around. So he appeared and he tried to stab me, but all of the like sexy dancers inside of the club went, and they all punched him at once and did like 3/4 of his health, and then he just ran away. No, wait, we killed him, didn't we? Yeah, we killed him.
Yeah, no,
and then
we
he ran away.
killed him.
So you're telling me there was blood on the dance floor?
Boo! I hate that so much. All right, speaking of blood on the dance floor, we need to talk about our favorite new cinematic with our boy Gelbin.
Finally, Gelbin gets his due.
We get some high-rendered Gelbin Mechatork, baby.
His body was squishy. So if you're, I think it's alliance only. Actually, it's alliance only. If you walk into the beginning of the raid, you get a cutscene where spoilers, where we blow up all the ships that we attach bombs to in the war campaign, which is cool. But yeah, you get some fully rendered curvaceous Gelbin, and it was hella exciting. Like, we got a fucking gnome fully animated for a cinematic.
Also, how long were those bombs just like sitting on these horde ships? Because like we did that like a month ago. I mean, or there's probably some like time lapse like that. It was actually like yesterday, but
I guess I imagine it's probably like a week or like 3 days in game time that we planted those bombs. Hopefully they weren't just sitting on that on their ships forever unnoticed.
So you told me, you're like, Gelbin, he gets his time in the sun. And I'm like, oh, I'm excited. And I load it up, I walk in, and then in the cutscene, Gelbin gets hit by like a flaming boulder, and there's not even like a body or he's knocked out. He's just gone. And I remember screaming, looking at my computer, because I love Gelbin. Like, did they lie to me? Is Gelbin dead?
I mean, even that would have been more screen time than he's had in the past.
Just death by a big flaming fucking like stake.
And the other point I was going to say is that I like that not only, so the explosion, obviously it affected him because it had dramatic tension, but it also blew off parts of his armor. So we are now dealing with like a a punished Gelbin who is showing some arm, and he's like,
I battle torn now. I'm not fucking around anymore.
He's like, I can push this button now.
we're gonna go up to the top of the terrace, and Gelbin is going to like curb stomp a Zandalari, like teeth on the curb, and be like,
What the fuck are you looking at? I'm hardcore now.
It's funny too because Jaina was there, and I feel like Jaina could have done a lot more to like destroy those ships or like protect their ships, but she was like, you know what? Gelbin needs his screen time really bad, so I'm just gonna let him go through with his plan and hope that it goes through. I'm not gonna help. I'm just gonna sit back and watch and make sure that he gets it done.
Slide, you
needs-
played the war campaign. She can't blow up those ships unless you put a ballista missile in them.
Oh no. Please mark all these ships so I can hit them with my missiles. Jaina, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Like, we're at the same distance.
We're standing next to each other.
You know, she's all powerful, but she is a little bit nearsighted, okay? Or farsighted?
she needs
Which
her
one?
glasses, and she's too prideful.
My glasses. Can't see without my glasses.
Yeah, have you guys seen how it's becoming a meme now where they're taking like like a screen cap of when she like puts up the arcane barrier to like block her and her brother from one of the like missiles that the horde sends up, and then they're like just posting like me over Jaina and then like the barrier, and then it's like like then the missiles tagged like world quests and island adventures and
Oh no.
Just all the unnecessary content.
But yeah, it was a cool cinematic. They let Gelbin show some gnomish engineering. That was sick.
I mean, if he's gonna be a major raid boss, you know, he needs his time to shine. So that's good. That's cool.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that raid fight. Ooh.
I don't think I can fight him. I think I'm going to be a conscientious objector there, and I'm just going to sit down and let Gelbin kill me. Be like, I'm sorry, my king. I will be. There's 29 other guys who will kill you, but I will not be one.
Like, I'm sorry, guys, but you gotta bench me, because I will not get a kill on Gelbin this expansion. I can't do it.
I will make the choice to be below or behind the curve.
BOTC. But yeah, we raided yesterday. That was yesterday, right? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just I feel like with all this new content, like it's felt like a lot longer time has passed since, you know, there's so much to do in WoW right now.
Which is again crazy because people are just so mad about Dazar'alor. You're just gonna reuse assets that you already had from the Horde capital city. That's real lazy, Blizzard. And I'm like, it's such a cool raid. What's wrong with reusing assets when like the mechanics and everything in these bosses are so cool?
Also, what are they going to do? Like, have the city look like the Horde built an entirely different city. If it's called Attack on Place, probably the map of the place would make sense.
Yeah, and especially in an expansion where it's Alliance versus Horde, you would think part of the war would be in one of the capital cities, and now it's been in both because like they did the same thing in Borealis when, well, it was different. It wasn't the Horde. It was like us fending off the Ashvane because again, fuck the Ashvane.
If Lady Ashvane joins Sylvanas, then can we retroactively make Siege of Borealis a Horde attack?
Yeah, I vote to pass this notion.
If they throw some Horde in there, I will play it every week just to get more Horde kills.
Well, we should do that because we need to do more dungeons. So we should
Yeah,
add that to
we
our
need
list
to
of
do that
things
anyways.
we gotta do. But yeah, Phoenix Fusion had a pretty good raid night. I would say that generally our guild isn't the quickest at downing bosses, but we have a lot of fun in doing it, and we always get it done eventually. But we did really well for having a lot of people that were like new.
There was only Opulence was the only boss we had to try twice, right?
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
we had to do Jadefire Masters.
No, not the Masters. It was only the First Lady.
Oh
the,
yeah,
the dinosaur
Paladin.
lady we had to do twice.
Yeah, because we kept hitting
Since
her.
we're talking about all the bosses, let's just start from the beginning and work our way through and talk about them all. So we started off with is the Paladin lady. What's the name of that fight again?
It's called Champions of the Light.
That makes sense
Yeah.
because it's priests and paladins and
Yeah.
her.
thought it was really cool how, like, since she's a paladin and they're priests, like they were just actually using spells that are like in our spell book, which I thought was really neat because it made it feel like we're fighting like the Horde's version of us. So like if these were like their champions.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how it was for the other one too, the Jade Fire. Like,
I
it
was about
feels
to say
cool.
the fire mage. I kept looking at him and I was like, "You're me," and I was like, "This is super cool because you're doing my abilities." Until he turned into a big fucking bird, and I'm like,
Right?
"Okay,
Like,
guy." I was like, "I can't do that. You shouldn't be able to do that
It's like,
either."
wait a second, who the fuck taught you this move, and how do I meet them? Like, what's going on here?
you're like, I don't
I
turn into this phoenix when I get down to 5% health.
Is this your cauterize? Because I usually just fart out a piece of fire and then move fast.
I also would love to know what ability he has that lets him cast Pyroblast. He's getting hit and not getting slowed down at all. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, we're hitting you. Like, your casts take longer when you're getting smacked. Like, this is bullshit. He had, like, super arm around. But so, we beat Champions of the Light. They were cool. Was Jadefire second? Or was Grong second?
Grong was third.
Grong was
Jadefire
really
must have been-
easy.
Yeah,
We're not on heroic yet, so they're gonna be easy. But for us, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and we kind of always
I
start
think
with normal.
I think Phoenix Fusion is just good, or we're getting better, so that like normal isn't like a super stopping point. But yeah, I felt like all the bosses, other than some later, were pretty easy. At Jadefire, we did it in one, right?
Yeah, I think Jetfire was in 1. Grong was in 1 too, right? I'm doing Arcane
Grong was
Mage
in
now.
half. I think
Grong-
I was checking on my Gmail and I clicked back in and Grong was dead.
I love Arcane Mage because it's so turrety. I was able to just press one, just one, and I'm like making a sandwich over here. I'm like, it reminds me of playing Demon Hunter, where I can like play one handed almost sometimes. And Grong was like the perfect fight just to like stand still and just blast him with arcane missiles. That was cool. Jadefire, we didn't really have to deal with any mechanics really that were too crazy.
Other than the maze was just annoying though. No one actually like got killed by it.
Yeah, I'm assuming on heroic will probably be worse, but on normal it's just a really easier version of God, that bitch from Antorus, the bounty hunter guy who like has like the fire tripwires and the bombs and the missiles. You guys remember that guy?
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but yeah, I agree. It's like the same kind of idea, but I don't know. With this Jadefire boss, I felt like it was pretty easy for the three of us because we were casters, so we didn't even have to finish the maze, or at least I didn't. I just kind of stood at the last row and healed everyone.
I got maybe 80% of the way there, and as soon as my number lit up, I was like, okay, I'll just shuffle around over here.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, all my caster peeps can be over here, and I can just like AoE heal us when needed.
Yeah, and I feel like the mechanics are just inherently more interesting because like the fact that like the monk makes those that ring of peace maze, and then the mage just puts up a giant ice wall we have to break down. Like, it's class fantasy to the realness. And then we made it to Opulence, and he's the one where we had problems on. So because you guys were in the same group for the lightning ad, right?
Yeah, we went
The
left and
hand
you went
of
right.
Yazal.
I think we had the easier one for sure because it sounds like the other side had a lot of troubles. Whereas, like, I don't know, Aaron, I thought ours was not the hardest. Like, once we.
Yeah, we never had any problems on our side other than it stemming from improper timing coordinating with Fireside.
So what's his name? His name's Inzashi? Inuasha? Is that his name? Something like that over there?
Yeah, it was Inuyasha, and then we had Kagome.
But what are his abilities that he does? Because they sounded kind of similar to what was happening on our end, but it seemed like you guys didn't have to deal with the big spinning flame circle that we had.
Okay, well, fill in any gaps if I'm forgetting anything. But basically, he would target a few of us. I think it was mainly casters, and then he would put that like lightning dot on us, and then it would explode after a certain amount of time, and then it would just kind of stay in that area, so we couldn't go there. And he did that a few times per room. And then also in every room, it felt like there was either like wall cannons that would open up with fire blasts that would come out and cover like 2/3 of the room roughly, and then you had to like move into an area that it wasn't hitting. And then if it wasn't that, then there would be this like giant like fire laser that would follow someone randomly, and then like it would leave lava on the ground behind them, so that part of the room you couldn't walk in. And then the mini boss or the ad itself would do an attack called like charge or smash or something, where he would wind up and do like a cone attack in front of him, and then it would like do a lot of damage and stun whoever was hit by it.
And there was a poison room, although
Oh
admittedly I don't
yeah.
know if we did well or if I was doing not well. I didn't see the poison ever really do anything. We were always able to beat him down to the next 10% and leave the room before anyone like keeled over.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
both get the poison room. I
I
think
also didn't really understand that room or what the point was.
it just does damage to everybody.
Oh, and then also whenever we were leaving a room, the boss would like leap into the room in front and then um like wind up and do this giant like mother style like wipe the entire room with fire, and if you got caught in there it basically just kills you.
Yeah, ours was doing that too. So it's not like really the main difference is between just the lightning dot and the flames. Because ours would just like point in a direction and he'll start spinning and blasting fire, like Kingaroth's laser beam, kind of, only just from one end. So for casters, it's hard sometimes because we have like a lot of casters on that side. So we had to keep moving, and I'm an arcane mage, so I would just blink to move. But on the very last room, the fucker decides he's gonna make his fire cone like half the room. So that's why we kept either dying or we were behind you guys, because we could do no damage. It would just run, 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 run. Because if you waited a second, he would just destroy you in 2 ticks with that fucking fire cone. And this is on normal. Like, what's it gonna be on heroic? Is it gonna be just a 1-shot kill? I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Yeah, ours in that final room when the ad is like, I'm gonna really step up my lightning powers. He just picks 2 people, and it's in a very large room, so you can very easily go to the corner, drop off your dot, and then leave. So I feel like it is
Yeah.
not at all equivalent to half of this room is death now.
Poor Cynical. Poor Cynical just kept getting blasted. I was watching him run. He's our holy paladin, and he would always find himself just right behind everybody else for a second, and he would just get wrecked every time. R.I.P. Sin.
Yeah, I guess I felt for him because I feel like that would have been me if I were on that side as well.
Oh, that for sure would have been you. And that it's probably good that you don't go on that side, Alex, because
Yeah,
your
I
little
mean,
Draenei heals.
I was getting flashbacks of King Garoth as you were saying. I was like, I can't run and heals that fast, okay?
I feel like it took you so long to figure out when to move on Kingaroth that I didn't know how to help you, because he's like, I'll keep dying. I don't know why, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm alive.
Yeah, so then once we finally got like our groove and were able to down these bosses at the same rate, then we were able to like pick up those cool gems, which were kind of glitching, right? Because like I know Aaron, you were one of
I,
them
I
because like you got the ruby, right?
I logged in today. I still had it.
Wait, you still have the gem debuff?
I still have the gem debuff. It doesn't do anything, but I still had a little thing that was like, "You're carrying the ruby," and Grylina looked in her pocket like, "Am I?"
Yeah, so
So the mechanic is different parts of the raid. When you get into a certain part before you fight Opulence, the big coin monster, you get rubies that do different dots and different things that help the raid. And a couple people are supposed to pick up one that like slows things, but if you die, you lose your gems. Except for everyone who picked a ruby, me included, just got to keep them. So we got to cheese the raid a little bit by just slowing everything.
It's so classic Blizzard.
It's just a small startup in California. You can't blame them.
I was surprised at how quick opulence went down. I mean, I guess it makes sense because like that whole chain leading up to it with the 2 ads does take a while. But when we finally killed him, did you guys end up digging through those piles of gold that he spawned?
Yes, I
Yeah.
didn't. I mean, I found 150 like trinkets, but people were getting like BOEs. I'm like, oh, I'm peanut butter and jelly.
Yo, that man got me a 390 booties for my little feats. And it was a BOE, so I sold it. That's the one I was telling you about, where I sold it for 150K at the start. So Optimus literally made it rain gold. Like, he did it.
Well, I was digging through my pile of gold, which was I thought was like a really funny animation when you like get on your knees and you're like dig through the pile of gold. But I got this egg, which was just a trash item, and it was worth like 120 gold. So I guess it's better than nothing.
Oh, I was like, oh, is like this cool golden pet or something? But it's just trash. Trash!
Speaking of golden hats, Slide got that crown we were talking about.
Oh, baby, I got me the hat. One of those little crowns that you can pull out the gem. And I got the coolest ability of all. I got to make everybody small. Which
And
Aaron...
by everybody, yeah, you just got to make me small for uninterrupted for about 10 minutes.
Well, I have good news because it expired about an hour before the podcast, and I got to pull a new gem out of the crown. And guess which one I got?
Which one did you get?
Did you get it the size gem again?
I got the one that makes you sparkle. So I got the other non-useful one, but it's fun. And this one I can cast on anybody. The small one has to be people in the party, because, otherwise it'd be annoying. But I can make anyone I want sparkle with little stars. So if you want to get your star sparkles on, turn out in war mode and meet me in Borealis, and I'll sparkle ya. But yeah, it's a sweet crown. It's useless on my arcane mage, but turns out it's like 4th from the top and being best in slot for fire mage. So I'll take it.
Well, that's cool. So, we took a little bit longer on all of the bosses just because we went over the strats a little bit before all of them. But I think Opulence was the last one that we actually downed, right?
Yeah, but we got really close on the next one, which is Conclave.
That's the one where we fight all the Loa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're fighting like the Loa, right? Are those just like actual Loa, or are those like Loa
No,
champions?
we're fighting. From what I could tell, we're fighting like the Loa's #1 fans. So like Thunderous the big Stegosaurus, we're fighting his #1 fan.
Oh, we're
who
fighting
likes-
their aspects. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
who likes to call upon the powers of Thunderous the big Stegosaurus, but when the aspect dies, Thunderous will continue to exist.
Oh, man. And, I don't know which one of them does it because, we were kind of rushed this whole fight because we only got to see it a few times, but there was one of these aspects that just targeted 4 people in the raid or so and, silenced them for, a half a minute.
Oh my god, that was the worst. I had
Mhm.
just dropped my Rune of Power. I just popped my cooldown, silence for 29 seconds. And I'm like, seriously? Like, this is bullshit.
And, I can dispel this, but, I can dispel 1, or I can use my mass dispel and dispel 5 people, but, no one's ever stacked, and I can only do that, once every minute or so, and I felt like it happened way more often than that, and I was the only priest, right? No, there's a shadow priest now, so they could have helped me too, but
I guess, yeah, we need to make it clear that if you have a dispel, you gotta use it. Because me and Aaron, we only have decurses, so we can't help with that. Also, because if we're silenced... Wait, can it silence you?
yeah,
Okay.
it can target anyone, I think. I don't think it actually hit me, or maybe it hit me once, but I was lucky enough to die before
What if...
it was down to the end. But when it was towards the end and it was just the 2 tanks, a few healers and a few DPS, it hit everyone, and then there's nothing you can do because it makes it so you can't use any of your abilities, so everyone just died.
Yeah, your bar just goes away. It just disappears. You can't hit any buttons at all. It's like, dude.
So what, you can go up to the boss and hit it with your staff?
Yeah, I guess I didn't try that, but I guess you're right. I feel like it was easy at the start. I was just stealing Paku's little wind buff, giving us all haste, and then it just got crazy at the end. Ugh. But it was cool. These fights are, like I said, I've said it a bunch of times, but they're mechanically super neat.
I'm really excited to see tomorrow, from when we're recording this, what we can do, and I'm excited to continue raiding.
Yeah, let's kill Rastakhan.
And also, if you're on US Proudmoore and you want to join a guild, we need some DPS probably and some off heals and maybe not an off tank, but somebody who has a spec that could play tank
Maybe like a backup tank.
if you want to play with some cool people and get a cool handshake in Veralis, you should join Phoenix Fusion. Once again, though, it's a very thrilling guild ad going on here, but people are nice.
We're cool.
Come be our friends.
So while we were fighting our way up the spires of Atal Dazar, Growlina took some extra time to hang out with some Alliance boys who decided to stay on the ground level. Let's hear from her as she and the rest of the Alliance attacked Atal Dazar shores.
Run, Horny, run! Oh, hello everyone. This is Growlina, live from the shores of Ataldazar. I'm here with Kirineth, the leader of this ragtag group who's performing our own little siege. How are you today, Kier? Good. You? Just enjoying the carnage, Kier. So, what made you decide to put this group together? Some friends and I were doing a world quest around here and ran into a horde. They had to go to the city to run and we wanted to chase them. So that's when you turned to local defense to gather more troops? Yes, I put it out on there. What would you say your reaction to the turnout is? I'm a fan. It's nice to finally get at them on their own turf. Are you excited to continue on the newest raid? I'm not much of a raider. I'm usually for PvP. But yes, I'll give it a try. Well, it's been nice, Kier. Well, I know that this has certainly been a confident victory for the Alliance today. From Ataldazar, this is... This is Growlina. Back to you, boys.
Well, that's lovely. I always like to see a group of young kids getting together to murder innocents. But you know who's killer with their looks?
Ooh.
Our sexiest NPC of the week.
Who is it? Who is it? Who? Wait, who? Wait, we're getting sexy, but we don't even know who it is yet.
Who?
Who?
Our sexiest NPC of the week this week is none other than John J. Keyshawn.
Ooh.
Daddy.
The headband.
John J. Keyshawn is one of few to be multiple classes at once.
And I think he's
according
wielding
to according to Wikipedia, he is both a warrior and he is a hunter.
Yeah, because like at any given time he has like 2 daggers and a sword and a spear and a gun and a bow. No shirt though, so like that's how he probably gets away with it.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah, that's also he's a hunter and he's a warrior who wears cloth. What is he?
I don't know, but he's sexy. That's what he is.
Also, while I was trolling for information today, I found out apparently in the WoW Alpha, he was supposed to be one of the warriors who were admitted into the Halls of Valor.
What? Wait, so why wasn't
like,
he?
I don't know. They decided not to because he wasn't in Legion. But it was going to be you go up to the Halls of Valor with like Valkyr and Valdir and like all of like the gods, and just a human man was walking around because he's so fucking cool and sexy.
I mean, I
He's
didn't
like,
play
yeah,
a warrior.
They already pre-honored me.
I didn't play a warrior in Legion, but were there any just humans up there?
Well, no. Everyone was stone people.
The Vrike rule. Yeah, which I think was a lot of people's complaints with that was that it was only the Vrike rule and it was no like warriors of age. Like, where was our boy? Where was the former king of the Alliance? Why wasn't he up there? Like, there's no variant in like warrior heaven. It's fucked up.
I mean, you would think serving in not only the first war and the second war, but also the third war would get John J. Keyshawn up there. I mean, like, there's only stone people up there, but like, have you seen those rock hard abs?
Well, you also have to be dead to be up. You have to be dead to be up there, and he's alive in our hearts and also in the real world because he's not dead.
This is true.
Yeah, fun fact for anyone who plays a warrior, you are a zombie, canonically. If you went through Legion, you are a zombie.
You know, I've never actually read John J. Keyshawn. I'm reading it right now, his Wikipedia, and it's fucked up. He was an orc prisoner for 5 years. Like, he was a prisoner of war, and when he came back home, the people of Lakeshire were spitting on him, protesting him, and calling him a baby orc killer. Damn! What's wrong with those people? They're spitting on the sexiest NPC of the week. What's wrong with them?
I just remember back in Red Ridge when I first saw him, and we were on top of the tank. Growlina was driving it, and through the porthole, she got to see John J. Keyshawn on the machine gun, and just sweat beating down his brow. And this was young, beardless Keyshawn, but she knew that's a sexy special man right there.
Ooh, and then like to like reward you for your efforts during that times in Red Ridge, he just like takes off his red headband, still sweaty probably, and then gives it to you to remember him. And like we never forgot our sexiest NPC of the week, babe.
Oh, hell no. But do you think he'll be off the market forever? Or do you think Kelsey Steelspark, the gnome rogue's gonna move in on him? Because they got pretty close in that war campaign.
There was a lot of chemistry there. I've seen a lot of, dare I say, too many internet interpretations of that meeting.
Oh, no. What do you mean?
And I think you know what I mean. And I think there's some legitimate chemistry there. As much as I want John Jay for myself, I think he better watch out because I think he has a special someone out there.
Is this the first case of a cross-species, cross-race relationship? I'm trying to think of other
in the
races
Alliance. I
in-
mean, if you call Garona's parentage a relationship, but I
Okay,
don't think they knew each other
no.
very well.
I don't think that.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
her.
what is she like? Orc and Draenei, or
She
was
she's
originally-
Orc and Draenei.
Wasn't she?
She was Orc and human, and then they retconned it because no human would go through the dark portal.
Yeah.
So later she was Orc and Draenei.
But she's.
And then her non-canonical son was a Threesies, but he doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, there's the goblin and gnome, as well. The ones we haven't seen since before the storm. What are the Safi and Grizzix?
We haven't seen Safi, but you see Grizzix you see Grizzix's technology all the time.
But anyway, let's get back to John J. Keyshawn and his sexy bloodlust for murder. All right, and that was our sexiest NPC of the week.
That was all we needed to say about him.
That's all you need, baby. Just a couple of moans, and John and Jay will be knocking on your door. Thanks, John. Your award's in the mail.
Well, now that we've gotten our sexiest NPC out of the way for the week, let's slide on into our top toot of the week.
Toot toot.
Aaron, what do you got this week?
Toot, 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 toot.
You know what? I'm gonna be highly unoriginal, but I'm excited for tomorrow. We're gonna continue our adventures in Atal Dazor, and I hope that we make it all the way up to kill Rastakhan. That old fogey has had his time in the sun, all half of an expansion, for too long, and I think it's time he slipped down the big banana peel and fall down all 500 stairs of Atal Dazar.
And we know that's a long fall.
Yeah, I walked all the way up them.
That's why they don't get sieged, because it's so fucking hard to get up there as Alliance. I hate it. All right, Immune, what about you? What's your top toot toot of the week?
Toot toot! My top two of the week this week. I mean, I have to agree with Aaron, like, the introduction of this new raid. It's been so exciting. I've loved every boss we've done so far. I've loved everything leading up to it. I'm just really excited to have this kind of new content. And I'm probably not the only one to think this, but like with all this new content dropping, I kind of mistook it as being 8.1.5, even though this is just still 8.1. So we still have so much more to look forward to. So Yeah, I would say this raid is my top toot of the week. How about you, Slide?
Toot toot. My top toot is actually different because I was interviewed on the podcast Whispers of War, which is our first interaction with any other podcast that's not in-house technically, because since Aaron has Heroes Call Board, but it was cool. So she was cool. We hung out, talked for a little bit before we started. It was just a fun time. So if you are listening to this and you haven't heard Whispers of War yet, episode 22 I believe is the one that I'm on. It's a fun time. We talk about Horde and actually war campaign and kind of similar things that we talk about here in war mode and stuff. But yeah, it was just cool. It's nice that
like the blight on Darkshore, we will affect all listeners, and soon we will be forgotten about by the end of the expansion.
Oh,
but not us.
We're dead.
Just the blight.
We're dead. But all right, I think that's it for us. If you guys have any questions, complaints, or even some complaints, you can send them to donotrelenttpod@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at donotrelenttpod on Twitter. You also, if you feel so inclined, can leave us any kind of review on iTunes. It could be 1 star, it could be 3 stars. I'm not going to say 5 stars because we're not a 5-star podcast, but we'll read it on air. So just give us something, please. Where can we find you guys at in cyberspace?
You can follow me on Twitter at New Era Alex.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at The Bigacheesy. And you can find the brand new episode of our old podcast with a new fresh coat of paint, Heroes Call Board, at Heroes Call Board on Twitter. We're on Audio Boom and Stitcher, I believe. That is Heroes Call Board. We just put out an episode as of today's recording, so there will be a brand new, official, not legally unadvisable episode out. You can also listen to the old ones. Just pretend you don't hear the intro.
They're back. Finally, it took you guys a little bit.
Yeah, it took us a month due to personal trips and diseases, but we back here, gang.
Those two do not sound. It sounds like a pretty bad combo. It sounds like someone on some.
They weren't my trips and they weren't my diseases. I'll let you know that one.
All right, and with that, we're out of here. See you guys next week, and remember,
Another down. Do not relent.
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.